morning LinkedIn, good morning Facebook, good morning YouTube, good morning the world. Coming up on today's show, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Alan Cadden, Mr. John Luden, and the wonderful Louise Mondlat. Good morning, Ed.
Morning, Andy. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Very well, and you?
The music has been coming in. I'm energised, Mr. Hatcher.
Yes, yes, all ready and pumped up for a great show. We've got some great guests coming up on today's show.
Who have we got?
Who have we got? Well, as we said, the wonderful Alan Cadden from Cavetta Consulting, the incredible, good-looking and brave Mr. John Luden. There he is. We can see him in the green room down the bottom there. Hi, John.
Stop eating
the myth, the legend that is Louise Mondlat.
Hey!
Anyway, guys, if anyone's out there watching on the internet, drop in, say hi, give us a shout out, and give yourself a shout out, and we'll read it out on there. If you've got any questions to ask the guest, that'd be fab. And let's make this show a good one. So, Ed, new members. Let's should we have a quick look, see who's joined the club this week?
It's been busy actually. So let's see where we are.
Yeah, another busy week. So let's hit this button here.
Oh, well, welcome to all our new members. But let's say welcome to Anne Fitzsimmons, who's joined us at RWB.
Fantastic. Then let's welcome Rachel Cappuccini, who's joined Crystal West.
And Mark Conroy, who's come along to join Cobra Connect.
Fantastic. Nadia Bakir joined RWB.
And then, I'm going to say it wrong, but Katriana Machalinski, who's joined us at Cobra Connect. Say that with a mouthful of Rice Krispies.
Fantastic. Then I'd like to welcome David Torrey. I'll read the rest out. Ed, Warren Milburn, Cobra Connect, Tosca Lahiri, who I met yesterday. Hi, Tosca.
Hi, Tosca.
And Steve Neal, that I haven't met yet, who's joined Yvonne's Cobra M40 group. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, how good is
Great
that?
new members on this week. Yeah.
It's just lovely. The club continues to burgeon. We actually just left the club, and the investment lounge was kicking off this morning, which is a new lounge that we've had, starting with the wonderful there he is, David Lockett, sort of running it. So it's a really interesting club actually. So you can come and talk about different investments, different investment strategies, maybe looking at some of those ways of making money that maybe other people hadn't considered. And experimenting it and investing with friends and sort of comparing results. It's a fascinating place to get to. Really recommend it.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to Chris, who's running his CV workshops at the club. If you know anyone looking to get into work and they're struggling with their CV to get through the door, Chris is the guy. So
done with Chris a few years ago. Jeez,
absolutely
nightmare that sort of section.
Invaluable service. And another one coming up today is brand new as well, sort of third week in, is the Speed Networking Business Generator with Kath Kirkland.
You have to set really quickly.
Always a good fun. It starts at midday today, so plenty going on.
I think it's really. Do you not think it's really important just to say that these are all services and things that are free to Cobra Club members? If you're a Cobra Club member, everything that we talk about is free. You can just come and get involved, and you get all the meetings. You can see all these different people. You can get help with all areas of your business. That's part of the membership.
And we'll meet two of the best Cobra Club leaders here today. So
privileged we are.
Privileged. Anyhow, right. So I'm going to play this short VT, and when we come back, we're going to have Mr. Alan, the first of the illustrious leaders in the room, Mr. Alan Cadden. So let's hit this VT, and then here we go.
We're getting down to the wire.
Good morning.
You're pumped up, Alan. You ready for it? You got the drum.
Absolutely. What a fantastic introduction. Thanks very much, Andrew.
Yes. Well, we'll come into the. We'll dive in further about the introduction a bit later on about the Cobra Club bits and pieces going on. But so Alan, you've been on the show a little while ago now, I think. But for anyone who's out there, I wonder if you tell us a little bit about your story, a little bit about your journey, and what led you to Cavetta Consulting Limited.
Right. What happened with me is I did accounts as a degree and decided I didn't like doing accounts very much, but I liked doing tax and found that interesting. And while I was at Arthur Anderson's, this idea that you could get surveyors into accountancy firms to claim tax relief for property, it was all very new. It was so new they had new surveyors. So I got introduced to the field then. And then I decided to specialise. So I retrained as a general practice surveyor and joined a company called Davis Langdon, which was there for 10 years. And then Davis Langdon got taken over and things were changing and people were branching out and going away. And we thought there's a lot of people in Scotland in particular were not getting capital allowances advice because they didn't know how to access it. It was seen as a big four accountancy firm job or big property consultants, or it wasn't worth their while unless they were spending over £250,000. And we thought, wait a minute, there's a whole load of, everybody from a hairdresser to a pub, club, hotel that are vets or factory owners that are missing out on this advice. So we decided to try and bring that advice and make it a bit more palatable for them, not talk about it as being niche and high end, but make it a bit more realistic and a bit more accessible. They could understand why they needed it and why their accountant couldn't do what we do.
So important.
Simplifying the language.
Spend a lot of money actually as small businesses setting up, and that advice is invaluable to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big situation is they think their accountant is able to do it, but you wouldn't go to an accountant. Accountant faces problems when they get single line quotes. They don't have enough detail to extract all the tax deductible items, or if they bought a property, the accountants don't do land valuations, so that's where they need it. But over the last 6 years as a small company, we're going to be approaching by the end of the year, we'll have found over £100 million. That's what I'm thinking. We're approaching quite rapidly just now.
Wow.
But the alternative to us helping them is for them to pay HMRC more money they don't need to.
That's just mad.
It's mental. And I suppose this money that can be claimed back, it just makes such a big difference to these business lives, doesn't it, Alan?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not so much claiming back, it's they don't have to pay it in the first place. We reduce their tax bills in the first place. Yes, you can go back if the tax years are still open, but we like to say that, reduce your tax bill in the first place. And that cash flow advantage allows them to market their business, to sell it, to reward themselves. But it's still surprising. I mean, Deloitte's released a statistic years ago that said that 70% of all commercial property owners or people who lease commercial property had not claimed this tax relief. And I still see it very, very regular. I think it's not in the priority list. And that's where I think that, why it's left unclaimed. I'm
sure. And it's just lack of knowledge as well, I think. So, if you just don't know, why would you? I mean, I know Andrew finds out with R&D tax claims. It's if you don't know they exist, why would you claim them? And sometimes you need an expert to actually look at these things. And I think people often presume it's going to be really expensive to do that, and actually it isn't.
I think it's more an understanding of buildings, knowing that, a light fitting, right, you can get a light fitting at a DIY shop, but it takes time for that electrician to put it in. It takes a cost from a drill to run a wire to distribution board, and all these things can help maximise the claim. But if you're looking at the cost of a light bulb, that cost could be £5 for a light bulb, but it's maybe £30, £40, £50 to install the light in the first place. It's knowing property which makes the difference. And when I was in a survey yesterday, and the forensic level of detail you go to is counting up this sign, counting up this door closer, counting up this combination lock, cycle hooks, all these things to get a proper value for them and to get the tax relief they're entitled to.
Mm. So how underclaimed is this tax allowance?
I would say still vastly. Sometimes they think it's too good to be true, but they don't realise it's actually been around since 1878. I mean, capital allowances is the most written about piece of tax legislation, and has had the most cases and most evolved tax legislation.
It's probably the words that people use. I mean, I'm not being, if you're new into business, the word capital allowance means absolutely nothing to the average Joe Bloggs on the street, does it? So why would you even think to look? So, if someone said you can claim the tax back on the bits that you spend for your business, people might go, oh, can I? It's the words that people use that sometimes people just don't understand it, so they don't look at it, I suppose. It's
very, very, very true. I mean, with allowances as well, people get capital gains and capital allowances mixed up quite often. Maybe, in other countries they call it tax depreciation, tax and things like that. So I think, yes, it's very true what you're saying, Ed. But it's having that. What we try and do is we try and communicate the message in a simple way. We get videos just trying to explain what we do and how we can help. But you use the bottom line. It's businesses want to reduce their tax bill as well. So it's showing them, saying to them that you can reduce your tax bill just simply by claiming the deductions for the fixtures and fittings.
And I think it's interesting when people talk about reducing tax, because a lot of people sneer when people say, you're trying to reduce the amount of tax you pay, like Amazon. Actually, the government wants you to do this. This is a rule that's in there for you. It's not to be, it should be used. It's not that you're being naughty or a bit devious doing it. It's absolutely what the government want you to do. They want you to
very much so. I mean, it's a piece of legislation, and if you go into HMRC's website, they have a whole, oodles and oodles and oodles of pages telling you about this tax relief you can claim. But the thing is, it must be claimed. They're not going to give it automatically, which they state in their website. So you need to actually put a valuation in your tax return to claim it. It's like, and you take a horse to water at times, but you can't make it drink.
And it just makes sense to get an expert to do that with you, which is where you come in. Tell me, so if I was a business that had been going for a year or two, and had spent money on my premises, what's the sort of top tip that you would maybe give to a business? The first thing they should actually do. Don't answer. What's your top tip, Alan?
From a capital allowances point of view, I would say don't leave it to the last minute.
Okay.
There's big advantages if you claim it in the first 2 years, and also don't think it's lost, because we've had dentists who have, did refurbishment, bought property in 2005, and they're still able to claim. They just realise it over a longer period of time. So, yes. And the biggest one I'd say is, if you've not had a surveyor visit your property, you may not have claimed. Accountants don't count door closers, surveyors do.
So how much do you charge to go and have a look?
Well, a survey is part of our appointment. So when we get an appointment, we first look at, is it viable for them? Is it going to work for them? And then we see where the cash flow, how much they're going to save compared to what our fee will be. So we do
that initial consultation.
Initial consultation is free. And if somewhere along the line, say for example, something stops the claim, like we can't get information from a prior owner or something like that, there's no fee to the client. We are a results-based business, so if we can't save you money and make you financially better off, there's no fee.
That's incredibly impressive. So in other words, it's a win-win for the business owner.
Yeah,
he's going to lose if he does nothing, and it's a win-win if he gets you in, because it's going to cost him nothing, and he's only going to have to pay money if you're successful, which means he's probably got thousands of quid in his tax.
And his alternative, or her alternative, is really to pay HMRC more money that they don't need to be paying. That is literally in black and white what the alternative is to getting having us look.
Yeah, unless your uncle's Richie Sunak, you probably don't want that to happen, do
you? Right, guys, we're rapidly running out of time. I just want to let's just pop your details on. How does someone? Because I want to ask you about the Cobra Club briefly, but how does someone get hold of you at the moment, Alan, if they want to arrange something with you?
Yes, you can. My email address is alan.cadden@civetaconsulting.co.uk, or they can call me on 0141 432 0056, and they can reach me there, and we'll happily have a chat with them. Even if they're thinking of doing something, the best time is to talk to us early. We'll give you little nuggets that will help. You don't leave it until after the event.
What's the worst that can happen? You tell them they've got no claim.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, don't leave it till tomorrow. Do it today. So give Alan a call today if you've done any building work or put any sort of refurbs in. Just have that chat with Alan and work out if you can reduce your tax bill. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Minal says she had a great chat with you. Hi, Minal. How are you?
Hi, Minal. Good to see you. Who else we got on there?
We've got Christina saying hello.
Hello, Christina. Nice to see you.
We've got a gentleman, not a rogue.
Christina. And who else we got? There we go.
Oh. Hey.
Hello, Beverly, #1 best-selling Amazon author, Cobra Club leader.
Yes, runs Cobra Hive on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And Christina, big shout out to Alan Cadden, Capital Ancestry Services. You can save you a good amount. A one-to-one is a must to understand more. So you couldn't said it better, Christina.
Fantastic. So just quickly, Alan, let's talk about this thing here.
What's this about?
So just everyone who's watching out there, Alan runs an hour Cobra Club. So if you can let everyone know, Alan, what it's all about.
Yeah, well, the Cobra Express, when I started it, is I think that people, when they get the same format online, get bored. So it's about mixing it up. So one week we have a sort of referral type meeting. The next week we have speed networking. 1 week we'll have a social. And Fridays is our first 30-day planning. So we get somebody coming in who's a business speaker who's going to help plan for 30 days, in particular, as things are at the moment. That keeping that little nugget and that accountability and people and bouncing ideas off of one each other is helpful. So there's no meetings the same. Every week it changes from week to week. So it keeps everyone on their toes. But I think what's been good about it has been very high energy, and it's about putting energy in, about making people feel good. And at the time, the thing I like about it is that at the end of the meeting, myself and Dave always look and say, there's a lot of smiles at the end of it, and that's what I like doing it.
Yeah. And just quickly, Alan, Cobra Club, what's it meant to your business? Because you were obviously tucked up, up in Scotland, and now you're dealing around the UK, aren't you?
Yeah, the exposure, it's really helped increase our exposure, really big, particularly into the southwest of England as well. Certainly there's some good meetings happening through it, some great connections through it. And the thing that's been good is getting good for keeping visibility, because people in Cobra tend to see each other about 3-4 times a week. So it's not like a networking meeting where you're going, you're getting your bacon roll, you're having people are genuinely meeting, and they're meeting socially. I mean, I've seen people on till 9 o'clock at night at times, just having a chat and building those relationships. So it's been really good, and the diversity of it, every meeting's really good as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we think you're an amazing leader, Alan, and the Cobra Club's definitely a better place with you in it. And thank you for all your hard work and effort and determination. And, brilliant. Okay, Alan, what we're going to do is going to play this VT, and when we come back, we're going to have John Luden in the room. Or louder, John Luden. So here we go. All right, thank you so much, Alan. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Don't get much more upbeat than that, do you?
I'm scratching on the record. It's actually me.
Good energy.
Yeah, I'm there.
Morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Wednesday, hump day, always good.
Fantastic. And is this your first time on a live show?
It is my first time on a live show, actually. It's quite interesting. Very
Fantastic.
different. I've been on other podcasts, but they've all been pre-recorded and then released out.
Yes, well, this just goes out live. There's warts and all, and everything happens, feedback and all sorts of things. Normally I have Christine out there who's telling me that as we're getting feedback and stuff, so no messages out there today, so I think the sound's all right out there. So
not too bad. I think we had a bit of Alan's mobile phone arguing with his
Oh,
wife.
Yeah, I was getting someone's mobile phone back there for a bit. So much I threw my mobile phone out there just in case it was mine.
Look at that. Let's see, we get people, we don't even know who they are, but morning.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting presentation.
Morning, LinkedIn user.
Morning, LinkedIn user. If you put your name, we'll say, morning, LinkedIn user, who's called? And we'll say who you are.
Yeah, and I always like to say good morning to Mr. Alan Cohen. Always a pleasure to see you, Alan.
You'd think he'd text you that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
My deal.
So, John, give us a, obviously you heard a bit about what Alan had to say there, a little potted history leading up to sort of Hybrid Anchor. Where have you been, what you've been doing, maybe the key thing that
I'll try and
sort of head off in the direction you're in.
So we'll skip the school and the college years and go right the way back.
Bring out whatever's important to you,
So effectively, I've been in this industry, the digital industry, for 19 years. So had a hard paper round, but I've done nearly my 2 decades of building that. So I'm actually from the software industry, so we build online web software. So a lot of digital agencies, they normally come from graphic design or maybe marketing backgrounds. What's different about us is we've came from like the kind of more technical end. So I went from a large software house at roughly about 160 people over to a business that had like 10 people, where we built high-end retail websites. So we built for companies like Rolex or Cartier, Go Compare, decent-sized companies, and that allowed me to cut my teeth.
Quite demanding clients as well, John.
Yeah, definitely. So anyone that's worked with blue chips, it sounds great because obviously big money, big ticket, big brand. But of course, the SLA, the service level agreement, the exacting standards of those clients, likely they've got lots of different people that are highly motivated to make sure they get a pound of flesh. But it's a great experience. I always look at it as it's a bit like dog years. If you can do that for even, let's say, 10 years of your life, you're going to get a lot of experience off the back of it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, even if you do it at cost, someone like Rolex is a lovely thing to use.
Yeah, to drop down that kind of way. Well, that's the kind of way I promoted Hybrid Anchor. My company is, I've worked with these clients and I've been at that kind of level performing consistently. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to stay in that sector. But then what I've done is I've pulled that into the SME market. So I can work with anyone that's got, say, 1 or 2 employees, right the way up to thousands of employees. And I'm quite comfortable like navigating that, speaking to like a board of directors or just a one-person business. And I think that makes it more approachable, that we're not this, we're too fancy for our own good. We're quite happy to...
No, it's one of my criticisms, especially when you're at fairly high level, is that people come in and they talk at a level which is actually double Dutch. It's their own industry speak. And you're like, and I'm forever saying, what do you mean? And it's when they break and they, look, you should know. And actually I do. It's just that you're not.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that.
But it's really
a big jargon buster. I'd rather have you just speak plain English.
What am I trying to achieve here? What actually, it's nice to have a high-end website, but what do you want to achieve for your website? It's the UX and the UI, isn't it? It's the customer experience and the customer journey that's really, really the most important thing. More important than the brand, but they don't always realize that.
Yeah, it's very true.
Interesting.
So, what sorts of things do Hybrid Anchor get involved with? Is it mainly, is it website? Is it building like front end of?
I would say it kind of varies.
Software to run their businesses.
Yeah, so we're unusual as an agency. So a lot of people that sit in my chair would say they're full service, which just basically for anyone that's not familiar with web agencies means they do absolutely everything. So they do your marketing, they do branding, social media, the whole works. We are very geared towards complex problems. So I build a lot of e-learning platforms. So right now we're building an e-learning platform for the NHS. It's quite a large profile. So that's probably something like 36 hours of learning.
Is that for patients or for doctors, or who's that for?
It's clinicians and for tracking the sort of surgical goods, so surgical items, and how to kind of down stock and mention things are contaminated or where stock is at any given moment. Okay. So they wanted to build an academy for probably up to about 6,000 clinicians to use. So it's southwest of London. We've been building that now for the last couple of months, but already the NHS has kind of been like, oh, we would like that system. We'd like to kind of build on that. So that's a good example of a project.
Really good.
But we also work with a lot of retailers. So we work with people that are maybe in the pharmacy space, or they sell jewellery or furniture. those are good clients as well. So what's on the books just now? Probably we're about 60% retail and about 40% e-learning. And there's always these little edge cases of things like, I was doing a video intro last night, which is a little bit different.
You were doing it.
I was doing it, yeah, me personally. 10 p.m. at night, doing a video intro. But I think people see our YouTube channel and they're thinking, can we get one of those? And it's not really a service we offer, but it's kind of nice to be able to do it. And I do like seeing them. So if they're doing an active YouTube sort of like a video each week or something, it's quite cool to kind of look at it and say, yeah, we animated that. That's cool.
Okay, that sounds good. We should go check it out.
We will.
Good, yep. So we've got our podcast, Business Belters. If you're interested in business, sales, anything around that space, I do that with a marketing co-host, like another company like me. And then out with that, I do Hybrid Anchor, which is mostly educational kind of videos, teaching people about how to build great courses or get the most out of their technology.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. So you do content, if you like, for people's sites if they already exist.
Yeah, exactly that. So if they're kind of looking at, maybe they're a coach or a consultant and they're thinking, I want to be able to train people online, but they're maybe not thinking about how different it actually is. So it's kind of like if you take a book and convert it into a film, it's a different medium. So you have to present it slightly different for that story to be told. So e-learning's like that, where we might take the workbooks or that person's own sort of like learning, but we want to convert it into something that's like bite-sized chunks that people can digest as a course. So if I'm going through it, I don't want to read big, massive articles. I want little kind of bite-sized snippets or videos or things I can engage with, and I can come and go when I've got availability.
Yeah, I've seen that out there. I was looking at that for a project for, something I've got in mind at some point. So we might have to talk at some point, John.
Good do, yeah. Always here. Happy to do a wee Cobra Club discount for you. Look after you.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's not until you meet people and you have these kinds of conversations that you actually realise that this problem can be solved or there is someone to do it. And and how do your clients find you? They get referred in? Do they just think I've got a really complex problem, I must go and speak to John?
Yeah,
how does that work?
So what I try to do is when I'm meeting business owners, I do a lot of networking. So things like Cobra Club, I like to kind of meet people. But I always look at it as you're not selling people in networking. So if you join a networking group or attend a networking group, you're not selling to that other person. You're trying to basically train them on this is the type of projects we do. It's what we're looking for. Yeah. So the bulk of things that I get are by referral, either from clients or from contacts. Yes. Similar to yourselves in the sense of, we've spoke today and I've said I love complexity. I love complexity. Every time I meet you, I'll say I love complexity. And then somebody will come and they'll go, I've got this really complex software problem where this doesn't talk to that. And you're going to go, I know a guy that might be a good fit for you. And that's generally how we would pick up the bulk of our business. We are big in social, so we put a lot of content and attract sales that way as well. But I'm a big advocate of networking. It's exactly why I joined Cobra. And there's already been some good kind of partnerships that I've developed, even just in the 2 short months I've been a member, like down south with other businesses I can collaborate with. So it's already been good for me.
Yeah, interesting. We've had a comment from, it must be one of the leaders out there, someone at the Cobra Club. He's a supercharged marketing machine. There you go.
So I'll slap them a $5 later if they drop their name.
Yeah, fantastic. So, John, sometimes we ask other questions to our guests on the show. What's that, Ed?
Keep him on his toes. I think it's important to make people
Yeah, so which one should we go for, Ed? Which one? Let's go for
I think that quite often when we speak to people like John, they're really, really good at what they do, but actually they're hiding their real skill set under a bushel. They have other skills, I think, maybe that we need to know about.
Get ready for this.
Now, come on, John. Digital marketing supremos. What else? What else are you good at?
Other talents. That's a good one. So I'd say I was a pretty good teacher. I've lectured in the background for years. Not a lot of people know that. So I kind of give a lot of my time to colleges and universities. Most of the time, it's just donating the time or doing evening lecturing. So I've done that kind of quietly in the background. Not most people that know me would know that.
Fantastic. That's really good. That's it's a great skill to have, and just giving back, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, somebody done it for me actually. They had a visitor come to the college, and they kind of spoke to us about the industry. And I always thought that if I ever managed, like at that point it was an unknown, if I ever managed to get into this industry, I'm going to make sure I do that, because I always valued that person. It was something like Unix, like some crazy complicated programming language, which I don't do now. But they came into the college, and I thought, if I ever make it to there, I'll always do that. So every year I've always went back, and then I've had the opportunity to do lecturing or supporting students through programs like World Skills UK, which is UK wide. It's not just Scotland.
Fantastic. That sounds really good. So thanks for that, John. We are rapidly running out of time. So quickly going back to Hybrid Anchor, how does it work? Do you do a chargeable consultation? Is it free? How does it all work?
Yep. So the entry point for us is normally somebody would either purchase a website video audit. So I like to kind of audit the website and see if there's something we can actually do for the customer. That's an affordable kind of price point. So we do it for £197, or if they're in Cobra Club, we do it for £150. And the good thing about it is if they decide to go with another freelancer, there's no problem with that, because I've already been paid. If they go with us, then all I do is take that price of it and then I discount it into the first bit of work we do. So it's my ideal way of working. It means my time's covered. If they go ahead, of course it's free. If they go with someone else, that's okay as well. I understand. There's no hard feelings, and that works also.
Fantastic. And just quickly, there's details along the bottom.
Yep. So you can reach me on 0141 648 6999 for your website emergency, or you can email me at info@hybridanchor.com.
I love things like that. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Everyone should have a slogan or a catchphrase. I think it's just, it's just what should be done.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, John. I really enjoyed that. I know we spoke a little while ago now. And
yeah, we had a one-to-one.
Time to speak, I learned a bit more, and it's like, right, okay. Yeah, I'm sizing it up. Right, at some point, I'm going to have the right fit client I can introduce you to, or even ourselves, So just how the world works, isn't it?
Lots of bits and bobs I can think of. So yeah, thank you, John.
Fantastic.
As well, guys. Brilliant. Great community, great network.
Thanks, John.
Great to have you on board.
Yeah. Back in the room.
Back in the room.
Wow, it's been great so far. Fantastic. Always a pleasure to see Alan, and John's business. Just fantastic to learn a bit more today.
I've got a quick question for you, Andy.
No, I've got a question for you.
No, you're too slow, because I'd like to know who your hero is. Who's fastest on the finger? That's what I said.
I know. I should get there first. My hero of this week is Judith West.
Oh, yeah.
Judith West. Congratulations, Judith, my hero. Inspiration, really hard worker, doing a lot out there in the community, and has a great product to offer. And always such a big support, and a good friend too. So definitely fantastic sort of good business friend, and always a pleasure talking to Judith. So Judith West from WPA Insurance is my hero of the week.
Oh,
there's a question I want to ask you before we get Louise into the room, Ed. And this is going to be this one.
Right. So this ties a little bit into what John's talking about. So John networks so that he can, in a way, let people understand what he does, understand the full scope of his business, so that they can go and talk to other people, inspire them to have conversations with him. So you're giving out to get back. You're not selling. You're asking people about their businesses, and you're matching your business, and you're talking about what you do. And one of the things that a lot of salespeople do, or businesses, when they're out trying to get their clients, is that they sell to their clients, which is absolutely fine to do. If they don't sell, that's the end of the relationship they have with the client. And Ed doesn't think that that's important. It's important to sell because you need to make money. But what's truly important is that you're going to open a relationship and start working with that person in the future. So if you go with the mindset of, I'd like to open a relationship with this person that I'm going to go and talk to, that's fundamental to the way that your business will work. They'll buy from you, they won't buy from you. They might buy from you today, they might buy from you tomorrow. That's a little bit irrelevant. But I work with lots and lots of people having an open conversation with me, because then my business is going to truly do well. So don't just finish a sale, open a relationship.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ed. Thanks for those wise words of wisdom, as ever, from Mr. Edward Williamson. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to play this VT, and when we come back, we are going to have the incredible, talented, the one and only Louise Moblat in the room. So a quick message from our
music sort of get a bit, the pianist was a bit drunk.
It did. Good morning, Louise. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Here she is, the shining light. Louise, welcome to the show today. And it's probably been a couple of months since you've been on, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be longer than that. Yeah, it's great to be back.
We've been waiting.
Well, it's been great to have you back. So for those people who haven't sort of seen Louise on live on air before, I wonder if you can give us a little bit of history about who Louise is, where you've come from, what you've been up to, and leading up to what you're doing now.
Okay, so thank you very much, Andrew. So I'm Louise. I come from London, South London. I trained as an occupational therapist, and I worked in the health service for 18 years, mainly in mental health. And then I worked in general management, project management, all sorts of sort of non-clinical roles. And that I packed all that in 11 years ago, almost exactly. And now I do something completely different, although there are lots of parallels. So, you know, Ed was talking about building relationships, and that's what I do. And
yes,
whether they
I was thinking of you, Louise. When you were talking about, I was thinking, that's Louise. That's Louise.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, like I would build a relationship with a patient, I build relationships with people, and it's all about how can I help. And sometimes I can help, sometimes I can't. But I start with what can I do to help. So I'm a super referrer. I love to refer people to the business to other people, and then more or less some comes back directly, but most of it's indirect, and that's what I do. And most of my business, virtually all of it, actually comes through this networking.
Yes. Well, I was having just for everyone out there, I was having a conversation with Louise the other day. It was about books, wasn't it? And lo and behold, in the post rocks up this thing.
Yes.
Louise has sent me.
So can I do a bit of a plug? It is absolutely brilliant. So basically, we are the accumulation of all our habits. And that CD, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, is a reflection of small, seemingly insignificant actions that we do or don't do that create good mental health or good physical health or good financial health or not. And most people, because it's so seemingly insignificant, miss it. But it's just so, so important. So we were talking about the speed of growth with this wonderful Cobra Club, and it just seems really, really slow. But people take time, but you get there in the end. That is the basic premise of it. And I'm glad. I'm sure you'll. Well, I hope you'll really enjoy it. I think it's
I
fabulous.
will.
And
I'm going to have this on in the car. Absolutely.
Excellent.
And,
Excellent.
It's an interesting thing about actually it goes through a lot of different things. So I would do the same talk about sales training. You know, you get people who are just dynamite salespeople, fantastic, but most people aren't that. And so why do some people sell and other people don't sell? It's probably the small things they do that make the difference. It's actually caring. It's actually being consistent. It's actually doing the same things over and over again. It's actually caring about the person you're pitching to. You know, all these little tiny differences pay huge dividends in the end. They really do. Totally agree with you. Spot
on. Yeah,
absolutely. And just do the right thing.
So obviously you're a giver and you give people whole heaps of wonderful things, you know, just your company, referrals, CDs, you name it. But what can we all give you, Louise? What's your business and how, you know, what's Louise's business and how can we help?
Okay. So I do something relatively boring, but I get a lot of satisfaction from it. So I save people money and it's free. It's entirely free. I will just save money or I won't. It's a great position to be in where I can honestly say, hand on heart, let me see what I can save. And everybody, or most people in this country, they have one of these. It's a mobile phone. It involves having a bill. Most people have electric. It involves a bill. And basically, I save people money. So you asked Alan about the Cobra Club. My last customer actually happened this morning, and it's a member of the Cobra Club. I had another customer last week who actually, funny enough, came via the Cobra Club. But on a slightly more serious note, we're going through a very strange period with energy. So energy prices have been shooting up like this. And if you'd like me to explain, I can explain a little bit about what's going on and how the company that I work with can help. So, so basically, you know, people stopped using anything last year. And so energy prices went through the floor. And then this year they've started climbing up, and then basically some companies needed to recoup some of their lost income from last year. So they put the prices up a bit more.
Yep.
And then petrol prices went up, gas prices have gone up, and it's become a sort of a combination of a series of events that have raised up the prices. So, and then last week there was a fire. So we received some of our electricity via France, and there was a fire which has affected the availability of that energy coming from France to Britain, which has pushed energy prices up further still. So in the last 5 to 10 years, there've been a whole series of smaller energy companies. I'm not going to name names, but you'll know some of them. And basically, they have not been able to keep up with the changing pricing structure, and they've gone bust. So in fact, I was just looking at an article from The Sun. I don't read The Sun, but this was sent to me. Basically, so the cheapest energy rate, energy deal at the moment is with a company called Green Energy, but Green Energy is going bust. So lots of smaller players, they don't have the capital to be able to accommodate the bigger prices. And so they are literally going
bust. That's to do with, am I right in saying that's to do with the fact that when you first signed up with them, they would have offered you a fixed rate, but the cost of electricity has exceeded that fixed rate. So the company is running at a loss, so it can't keep going, so it has to go bust. Because I think is it People's Energy that went bust yesterday as well?
So there's People's Energy, then there's Utility Point that went out of business last week. There's been a whole series of them. So
and I'm also hearing that you still get your supply, but they'll automatically give you somebody they choose as to give it on to, and you're signed up to their rates, whatever their rates are, which is
correct.
Which is awful, because it could be that you, and a lot of people are saying that their bills are 3 times what they were before.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. So if you're on a fixed rate and you fixed it a year ago or 18 months ago, the market was completely different. So you might have got a rate here, and the reality is that the wholesale rate has gone right up here, and so you will be landed with a far, far bigger bill. There is a little chink of good news in amongst this, but basically people might say, oh, they can't do this. Yes, they can, because that is the wholesale, but it's also the wholesale international market.
There's something else. 50% increases. These aren't small increases.
No, 300% increase for gas, for example. So it's huge interest changes.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever seen anything like this, right, as it is right now. What was the other thing I was going to say? Right, okay, so there is something else happening. So we are all going to be expected, whether we like it or not, to give up gas and to go electric. So gas boilers in the next 10 years will be phased out, and we will all need to think about having alternative energy sources, okay? So this ties in with Boris's plans for us to go electric for our cars as well. The reality is electric heating is more expensive. We are all going to have to adjust to paying more. It's just unpleasant, but that is the fact. So, and with that goes a lot of infrastructure work. So we are all going to have to accommodate this. It's going to be difficult. I said in a networking meeting, a Cobra meeting recently, that the average was another £200 per year on the average bill to accommodate these extras. But that doesn't take into account what's just been happening in the last 2 weeks. That is on top of. Okay, so it's going to be a difficult ride for a lot of people, basically.
And then you've got the cost of the infrastructure's change inside your property as well, haven't you? So if you've got to get rid of your gas cooker and your gas boiler, and if you're out in the sticks like I am, you've then got to think about maybe heat pumps and things, which, they cost 10, 20k by the time you start.
There'll be grants available. So in Scotland, I know that there are all sorts of grants available to help people to make that change. And that will happen across England as well. There's another element which has just conspired against this whole process. We rely on some wind power in this country, and there's been no wind. So I know, can you believe it? But so there's been less than average wind to add and compound the problem.
Blimey.
So yeah, difficult period.
Yeah, really, really difficult. Bless people. So I mean, one of the things that I know about what you do for people is the fact that you can find them a cheaper bill, and you can put them on. But actually, the infrastructure of their house, you can help with that, can't you? Because am I right in saying that you basically come in and, if they want, obviously, remove all their light bulbs and put new light bulbs in? Is that something that you do?
Not anymore, Ed. So we stopped doing that back in March. So we were doing that for about 5.5 years, which was awesome. But we've actually phased that out. So yes, we used to. What we do is we offer smart meters. So we give people £50 to have a smart meter, which means it does two things. One is it encourages people to use less energy, which is good for the environment, but good for people's wallets. And it also means that you don't have to do the meter readings because they're done automatically, which means that you get accurate billing, which is what we all want. We don't want big credits and we don't want big debts sat in someone else's account. So there are two really, really great advantages to actually making life that tiny bit easier. So we do that. And as it happens, we also install gas boilers for the time being, because they're still going to be with us for the next 9 years. It just means that you won't be able to buy a new one after 2030, just as you can't buy a brand new petrol car. But it doesn't mean to say there'll be no petrol cars around in 9 years' time,
Fair enough.
What else can I share with you? Oh, we got this guarantee. Everybody saves. So the Sun, very well-known publication, has said that this company that I represent offers the best rate in the country for energy.
Wow.
But to give people peace of mind, we have this guarantee. This guarantee means that if I look at someone's bills and you've got this awesome deal with your broadband or your mobile, we guarantee we will save you money.
Wow.
Okay, which is fab. And then we've got this. This is a cashback card where when you go shopping, absolutely anywhere, you will save money. And the company will give you a £50 credit to go spend wherever you like. It's honestly, it's free money. So in one of my NHS roles, I had a... Sorry?
You can go buy your light bulbs.
Yeah, you can, and actually you'll buy them at a discount.
There you go.
Fantastic. So
I've got a couple of things to ask you. I'm sure Andrew's going to ask you very similar. But firstly, I get all my bills, they land on my desk, I look at them, I think, oh my God, what top tip would you give to another person when they're in that mode of help, panic? What's the best thing they can do? I thought I'd ask an expert.
Okay, so I would like to say that I am an expert. So I've been involved in this business for 15 years. I had my 15th anniversary on Saturday. So
Amazing.
I know, so there's not a lot I don't know, to be honest. So what would people do? So you got a big bill lands, and my answer is it doesn't have to be that bad. Come and talk to me. So first of all, no pressure, no pushiness, no manoeuvring. I will just say, okay, so I think I can save you, or, you know, I used to say you're on a great deal, but now it doesn't matter because I can guarantee to save money. And the system of how it all works, the transfer, the move, it's all easier than people generally think it's going to be. Got to start with, how can I help?
Yeah.
Some people, they're not bothered about the savings. They want the simplicity of one bill. They want the lack of headaches, so they know they can call me. They're not going to wait half a day, and I'm not exaggerating, to speak to certain people in certain companies because they have no or very little customer service.
And what do you charge for that sort of service, Louise?
Do you know? Nothing. It's free. It's free.
Brilliant.
I used to say it costs
best way of getting a cup of tea is always good. I like Vicky's. It seems to be what I say to people. I say, it costs you absolutely nothing. I like Rich Tea biscuits. And it makes people giggle. The bit coming across the bottom of the screen, are they the best contact details for you if somebody wants just to have that informal chat with you to find out whether they can save any money and what about it? And I know it's really hard, but typically we're talking hundreds of pounds you can save people.
Yes, yeah, generally speaking, yeah.
It's a
My
lot of money.
biggest saving to date, £4,500
a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was for a business, for a regular residential, a customer in a residential home, in their own home. I mean, £1,800.
Whoa.
It can be more. Generally speaking, it's a bit less at the moment, but it's still well worth having.
Absolutely.
But it's ensuring, but also with that, when you go shopping, so I save between £20 to £30 a month every month with that card. I don't pay full price for anything.
Coming up, get some money back in your purse, have a prepaid card, go and have Christmas on Louise, and then save money on next year. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. I'll tell you another thing about this card. For now that we're unlocking and we can go abroad, this card, if you use it whilst abroad, the exchange fees are actually paid back to you as a credit.
Whoa.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
Even in Uzbekistan. Even Uzbekistan.
Anywhere.
I like it. Uzbekistan.
Thanks, Louise. And just quickly, Louise, if you want to tell us a little bit about your, because you're a Cobra leader, so I want to tell you a little bit about your event.
Okay, thank you very much. So, there it is. So I run a group on a Friday morning. It's called First Thing Friday. It's an hour, 8 till 9. And the CD that I've sent over to Andrew is just an example of what we cover. So it's all about building relationships. My group, so we zip off into rooms to build relationships, just like Ed was talking about. And then at the end of the hour, I'll share a piece of fantastic personal development. And that might be with a business perspective, or it may be a bit more of a domestic personal perspective. But it's about people starting off their Friday with their best headset, mindset on, shall I say. And the personal development is just about adding value. So to have arrived to where I am now, personal development was a weekly partner, really. So back in the day, as a clinician, I would do continuing professional development, but that was about how to do my job better or clinically work better. But in my business now, it's all about how I can help people better, how I can interact with people better, how I can network better, how I can think better, how I can be more positive. And then whatever it is that I'm acquiring, I want to share it with people.
It's a great meeting. It's a really lovely meeting.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd recommend everyone to go. Maybe Louise, what I'm going to do now, because we're rapidly running out of time, we're going to go through all the events, and I'm going to ask Louise to stay on. So Ed's going to start, I'll go second, and then Louise, you'll get the flavour of what we're doing.
Yourself, Louise. When you look at your little picture at the bottom, when he presses the button, your microphone will be muted. Just unmute yourself.
Okay, so here we go. Okay,
it's not talking.
Okay. Yeah, take it away.
Oh, well, we start Monday with my meeting, which is Cobra Monday Motivation. Come and join me Monday morning at 10 o'clock, 9 to 10.
Next up, we have Christie's Virtual Coffee Club to Monday from 3 to 4 p.m. Come and join Christy.
And then we have the wonderful Cobra Creative with Hannah on Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
And then pop into the evening to meet the man himself, Safran Khan, for Monday Mayhem. Spin that wheel and have a party. 7:30 to 8:30.
Fantastic. Then we have Judith Quest West meeting in Bristol every Tuesday, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Andy's Star of the Week. And then Tantalising Taylor is coming next.
Sorry.
Go on, Louise.
Right, so then we have Tantalising Tuesdays with the gorgeous Yvonne.
Followed by, sorry, I am so sorry. Is it me next or Andy?
Yes, it is you, Ed.
Oh, yeah, Cobra Office with Victoria. Yes, she's
fantastic. Then we have Katrina Ellis, Tyson Troubleshooters on the Isle of Man, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And then we have the Investment Lounge, which has actually been going on this morning, and that's with the amazing David Lockett, 10 to 11 on Wednesdays.
Speed networking with the wonderful Kath Kirkland, 12 to 1 o'clock every Wednesday.
Fantastic. That's a good fun one, that one. Recommend that one. Then we have Beverly Lockett, #1 Amazon bestselling author, doing the Hive Mastermind every Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
And then we have Snowden Summit with Rihanna and Steve on Wednesdays between 4 and 5:30.
Oh, come and join the mother of all network meetings, the big boy. Meeting talents every Wednesday, 7 till 9. Come along, it's great fun. Bring a drink, and it's time to stay connected.
Fantastic. Then next up, Jonathan Foy with Cobra Connect every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11:30, where businesses in Liverpool, Manchester, Preston, and Warrington can all network with the rest of the UK.
And then
oh, sorry, I'm up. Then it's Barry Hunt on Thursdays between 10 and 11. Sorry. No,
Chris Mason following on Wednesday, a week on Thursdays between 4 and 5.
Fantastic. Go on, Louise.
me on Friday mornings between 8 and 9. First thing Friday.
Fantastic. Next up, we have the Full Welsh Breakfast with Mr. Shane Yates, Cobra Business Solutions, 9:30 to 11 a.m. every Friday morning.
We heard from him earlier. Doot, doot. It's Alan Cadden with his Cobra Express, leaving the station every Friday, 2 till 3:30.
And then we have Wind Down Friday with Sharon Ritchie between 4 and 5:30. Bring your wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you there. Fantastic. Where is there? That's what I
I
asked.
couldn't pop that up anymore if I tried.
Yeah, I might stick some more music back on that one.
I was waiting for the music to kick in, and then I'm like going down trying to unmute myself, and I didn't need to unmute myself. Sorry.
All tech. We'll get it sorted for next week.
Then I can't work out 3 people. I can just about do alternate.
So, guys, it's been emotional. Been a great show as
Thank
ever.
Louise.
Just
Thank
like
you.
to say, little thing from there. Oh, there it is.
Thank you, Minion. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Ed.
That's all right. I was just whacking that one up too.
Oh, thanks, Christina.
We may as well go all the way. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Alan. That's
And
awesome.
then
Thank you.
you got John saying thanks for inviting him on the show. It was great to have you, John.
Thanks, John.
And it did get all Christmassy. You're absolutely right.
Let's get John back on the stream. Thanks for the show, John. It's been great. It's been a great show. Well, thank you all, everyone who's been watching today. You enjoyed yourself, John?
Yeah, it's been great. Always enjoy Cobra Club, but I like all these kind of dynamic ways of doing the content. Makes it interesting.
It does.
Fantastic. All right, guys, over and out. We'll see you all
Thank
again.
you. Bye.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surfing the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. 2 souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you are first. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in a dream and throw away the keys. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what
Now
we
you're
want to.
watching me, yeah, all